Today we embark on a journey to honor an incredible woman, Henrietta Lacks. She may not have set out to change the world, but her life and legacy have impacted millions. Imagine a single person whose cells became the foundation of countless scientific breakthroughs, an unsung hero who made modern medicine possible.
She wasn't just a wife or a mother. Henrietta Lacks was someone who cared deeply for the people in her community. Her life was simple yet filled with love and resilience, but everything changed in 1951 when she received a diagnosis that would not only impact her family, but change the world.
Henrietta Lacks was born on August 1, 1920, in Roanoke, Virginia, during a time when life was hard for African Americans. Despite the challenges of segregation and poverty, Henrietta was known for her strength, kindness, and love for her family. She grew up on a tobacco farm.
After losing her parents at a young age, Henrietta grew into a kind and resilient woman. She married David Lacks, and together they raised 5 children in Baltimore, Maryland.
Henrietta loved gardening, caring for her family, and helping those around her. Little did she know her life would leave a legacy that impacted millions.
In January 1951, Henrietta went to Johns Hopkins Hospital, one of the few hospitals that treated African American patients at the time. She had felt unusual pain and a lump in her abdomen.
Doctors diagnosed her with cervical cancer, a devastating illness. During her treatment without her knowledge, a sample of cancerous cells was taken and sent to the lab. This act, which was common at the time, would later change the course of medical history.
Scientists were amazed to discover that Henrietta's cells did something no other human cells had ever done before. They thrived outside the body. Most cells die after a few divisions, but Henrietta's cells kept dividing endlessly.
These cells were named HeLa. They were taken from the first 2 letters of her first and last name. They became the first immortal human cell line and were used for groundbreaking research.
HeLa cells helped create the polio vaccine, saving countless lives worldwide. They were used to develop treatments for cancer, AIDS, and Parkinson's disease.
They also contributed
to
major scientific advancements like
in
vitro fertilization, gene mapping,
and
cloning. More recently, HeLa cells played
a
critical role
in the
development of COVID-19
vaccines.
Henrietta's cells became one of the most studied tools in science, paving the way for over 75,000 scientific studies.
While HeLa cells revolutionized medicine, there was one major problem. Henrietta Lacks never gave consent for cells to be taken or used in research. For decades, her family didn't even know about her contributions.
The truth came to light in the early 1970s when scientists contacted Henrietta's family. They needed blood samples to better understand HeLa cells because the cells were becoming mixed with other cell lines in the labs.
Imagine their shock learning that their mother's cells had been taken without permission and had been used for decades to advance medicine. Meanwhile, her family lived in poverty, unaware of the impact Henrietta's cells had on the world.
This discovery raised important questions. Should patients have control over their cells? Who benefits from medical research? And how do we ensure fairness and transparency?
Henrietta's family fought to protect her legacy and make sure her story inspires change in ethical practices. They remind us that every scientific discovery has a human story behind it.
Today, Henrietta Lacks is no longer unknown. She had been honored with awards, books, and documentaries. Her portrait hangs in the Smithsonian National Portrait Gallery.
Her family continued to advocate for patients' rights, working to ensure that no one else's story is lost like hers on once was.
Henrietta's legacy is not just about cells. It's about recognizing the humanity behind the science and making sure every person's contribution is respected.
As we remember Henrietta Lacks, let's think about the lessons her story teaches us: the power of science, the importance of ethics, and the ways one person can change the world.
Henrietta Lacks was more than her cells. She was a mother, a friend, a gardener, and a woman who valued family above all else. Her story reminds us that science, at its core, is deeply human. It's about people, their lives, and their impact.
Henrietta Lacks' story is not just about the past, it's about the present and the future. Her cells continue to help researchers find cures and treatments that will save lives for generations to come.
As we conclude, we invite you to take action. Research Henrietta's life, explore her legacy, share her story with others. Let us ensure that her contributions are remembered and celebrated, not just in science, but in our understanding of the human spirit.